So thank you for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed my last session. For those of you who haven't joined me before, my name's Scott. I've been fly tying for about 25 years now, on and off. And I fish mainly in the county of Powys and Shropshire. I'm in my lodge at the moment. We're about to move out of the lodge. I'm moving into my house very soon. And we'll have a much better setup. This is a tiny little bedroom in the lodge. But I'm hoping to tie 5 patterns for you tonight. Maybe add a few more on if we've got time. And the first one I want to tie is called the F-Midge, which is basically an F-fly in all essence, except that I tie the body slightly differently. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm using a decent microphone tonight. And we managed to sort out my camera issues with the voice as well. So with no further ado, I'll switch over to the other camera and we'll have a crack at tying this F-Midge for you and show you what I'm on about.
Perfect, that.
Not too bad, is it? It's looking a lot better. So in the vise, I've got you can use a smaller hook if you like. I'm not very good at tying on anything smaller than a 16. And because I'm live on camera, we're going with a 14. No, that's the wrong hook, sorry. That's the one that we're using. Amazon B405. It's a straight shanked hook. We've got some pearl tinsel, which is very fine. This is by a company called Gutermann. And you get this from sewing shops on the whole. This one was bought from the craft section of Charlie's in Welshpool. We're going to be using an 8/0 black thread. You can use a finer thread if you like as well. I've got some Griffiths 14/0. That's very good for this pattern as well. You can use either natural or black Calder canard. That's what I've got in here. And then for the dubbing, I'm going to be using my own homemade dubbing. It's this black wool that's in here that's been blended up with a coffee grinder. So we'll make a start on the fly. We'll bed the hook properly on this one. We're coming at the eye. Now I've had a couple of fish on these patterns. I find them quite good. I'm going to tie in my tinsel right about there. I like to create a bit of a butt with it. It's very curly stuff, so what I do to get it tied in quicker is I just bring it up and under like that. You put one turn in and then you can just pull it into where you want it. Take the thread down to where you want the fly to start, really. And I normally take the tinsel around the bend slightly. Now normally it's tight enough and it doesn't go anywhere, but if you guys want to, you can put a dab of varnish or super glue on. And tie it in about there. Turn it over. Put another turn in because you're going to be using it for the rib as well. You see what I mean about it being curly? Problem with my new vise is I haven't devised the way of using a material clip yet, so I'm using the tightening wheel at the moment. And you want to get a very small amount of dubbing. You want to try and keep this fly as slim as possible. Yeah, try and keep it really, really slim. You still want to keep it fairly messy as well if you can. And then leave a bit of room for your CDC. So pull that off. And then start to wind your rib.
It is nice and fine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally, it's not very thick at all. It's not much thicker than a buzzer, really. And I really like it with the pearl tinsel. You can use any colour tinsel you like, but I really like this pearl tinsel on this pattern. Now, this is the hardest part about the pattern, really. What's coming up now is the wing, really. Trying to find some feathers in this heat and not have them stick to you and get the right size. I normally use about 3 feathers for a size 14. So I'll just get a bunch of them out of the bag and see if we can sift through them and find the ones that look nice. This is a proper rough bag of CDC. I bought a new bag recently. So what I'm doing off camera is just lining the tips up so that you end up with a nice bunch like that. And you don't really want it to go very far, not much further, not much past the bend of the hook. Nice loose winging loop to bring it in, and just a couple to lock it off. Trim away as close as you dare. And then try and tie a nice clean head if you can. I've got a little trick up my sleeve though if it does go wrong. That's not too bad, I can live with that. If you have a look on Amazon, there's something called a thread zapper. And it can turn a mediocre fly tyer into a brilliant one. So if you've got loads of horrible, nasty stuff poking out in front of the eye and it looks a bit rough, you can get this thread zapper and it'll just take it all out. Hopefully we won't have to use it tonight.
It's also handy for stripping your fly if you made a cock up.
Yes, exactly. I think I actually posted a link and I forgot the fact that I've done it. There is a link in the chat somewhere. You got in this heat, you've got to be quick with your varnish. It's about probably 38, 40 degrees in this lodge at the moment. There we are, that's the F-Midge. And I've been contemplating doing it with black CDC. I think that might be better, but I haven't done it yet. So how did you like that one? It's a nice, quick, easy pattern to do that one, isn't it?
And perfect in smaller sizes as well.
Oh yeah, definitely size 16 or below. It would work nicely. But
any questions, Scott? No, all shaking their heads.
Fair enough. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is the one I've never tied before. As we've got the CDC out, and It should be dry by now. I tied it about an hour ago, the body. I will tie a new body for you on camera. Then we'll take that out and replace it with the pre-tied body and then finish the fly off. This one's going to be the yellow owl emerger. And I'll make a start on that one now. We'll just take this one out the vise. Now I like to use these to keep them to dry. I'm sure you guys do as well. So to tie the yellow owl, we're going to need a buzzer hook. I'm going with a size 14 B100. That one. I was going to go with a size 12, but we'll see how we get on with a size 14. Okay, the thread that we're going to use is the light Cahill uni thread in 8/0. Really nice colour. The problem with it though is it is fairly see-through. We're also going to be using some peacock herl that we're going to strip for the quill. And the way I do that is I use a pencil eraser. Unfortunately, I'll do that off camera, but I'll explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it. We're going to need some UV resin, some varnish, and then you leave that to dry for about an hour, or you can pre-tie some bodies if you wanted to do a batch of them. Then I'm going to use some dubbing in the thorax. This is some squirrel that I harvested myself, let's say. I like to use squirrel, it's quite rough. And then CDC in the wing. And we're coming up the eye with the thread. And now I'm going to try and keep the body as slim as I can. I've been tying quite a lot of buzzers lately. Me and Pete were talking about it in the last session. I've managed to finish one box. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the second. So yeah, we're getting there. Then I'm going to strip a quill. So you just take a piece off the feather. You have it so that the grain's facing towards your left index finger and pin it to your desk. Then you get a soft pencil eraser and rub against the grain. Now, I've found that you can do this with bleach, but if you do it with bleach, you're going to end up with a very brittle quill. If you don't do it very, very well, you've got to have the knack to do it with bleach, to be honest with you. Otherwise, you'll end up ruining a lot of peacock. So I've stuck to the pencil eraser method.
Dipping it in wax is a good method.
You'll have to explain that one to me. Do you melt the wax and stick it in and then strip it out again?
Paul showed me how to do it. You melt a load of wax pearls in some boiling water, and then you dip your peacock eye into it, and just put it aside, let it dry. And then when you want to use it, you just rub your nail down. It takes the wax and the herl off.
Oh, right, fair enough. That sounds very quick and easy. Of course, this
Good evening, Denny. You hear me?
Yes, Malcolm.
Thank you.
So my quill is finally ready. That took longer than usual. Sorry about that, but that's typical when I'm on camera.
The other way is to buy Polish quills.
What's that? Sorry, Pete.
The other way is to cheat and buy Polish quills.
Yeah. And then I like to tie them in about there and then just run them down the back of the hook. It sort of hides them because you can still see it through the thread after you've finished. I take the thread round the bend. And I take the thread back up to within a thorax length away from the eye, probably about there. And now I found a new way to rib these. Oh, that's typical as well. Right, tell you what, I'll just go straight to the one I did earlier. I think that's probably the quickest thing to do. The quill's broke.
It happens, Scott.
Yeah, it's fine. I think most people are able to do that anyway, that bit. So this is my Blue Peter moment.
You tied the peacock in open turns, have you?
That's
Scott?
right, yeah. Yeah, not touching turns, open turns, equal spacing of yellow and quill, or light Cahill and quill. And then I'll just start the thread up again at the eye. Now, I've no idea what this is going to look like when I'm finished, so we'll see how we get on. Bit of an experiment. Because most people are tight forward of the eye. I'm going to get probably 2 or 3 of these feathers again. Probably 3. Tight like an F-fly.
The yellow owl shuttlecocks caught me a lot of fish.
Yeah, any shuttlecock's a good pattern to try when the fish are head and tailing. So tie that in probably about there and lift that back. And then I'm going to put the dubbing in there and bring it over again for the thorax. That's the plan. We'll see how that looks. So we've got my squirrel. Only going to need a little bit. Sorry, I've gone very quiet because, like I say, I've never done this bit before.
That's where your quarterizer would come in handy.
Yeah, you might be right there. I think that's going to have to do us there. That looks a steak, that does. I don't know. We'll see. I'll finish it off and see how it looks once I've varnished it.
Anybody got any to Scott?
What's that, Derek?
I say, has anybody got any questions for you? No, don't look like.
No, I think with a bit of practice, I could probably do a better job of the head on this one. But as it is, it'll fish. First one's never perfect anyway, as you guys know. But there we are. That's my attempt at a yellow owl. I don't think it's too bad. It'll go in the box. So the situation you fish this fly in is obviously when you've got trout that are feeding on emergers, and the best way to find out what they're feeding on regarding emergers is when they come up and you see the head, the tail, and head, the dorsal fin, and the tail in the rise. That's normally when they're feeding on something in the surface film. My go-to fly is the one I tied last week called the wedge, but I've been trying to tie flies with CDC, and I think I may have overdone it with the bulk towards the eye of the hook there. But this is how we learn. You have to have a crack at doing it, I suppose, to see how you get on. So the next pattern is a well-tried favourite of mine. I found it. There's a website called Caledonia Flies, and they sell flies on there. There's each individual pattern. You can go through loads of individual patterns on there. And what I've got a habit of doing is window shopping and then tying them myself rather than buying them. And this is one of the patterns that I did actually tie myself. And I took it down to the local river, the River Vunry, which runs into the Severn. It's a tributary of the Severn, and promptly went and caught 32 or 34 grayling, trout parr, and small dace with it. So it's a pretty good little fly. It's very similar to your Black Magic Spider, which you saw me tie at the last session. So to tie it, we're going to need a size, whatever you like, actually, really, in the vise. So I'm going with a 14 again. Camazon B405. When I master that yellow owl emerger, I'm going to put that one on my channel. I need to do a better job of it for the channel, I think. I'm just putting my CDC back in the bag. Okay. So you're going to need a black thread. I'll use the 8/0 uni thread again. Really quick pattern to tie. If you want to, you can do what I do with the improved Black Magic that I did last week, or the week before last, sorry. And you can use a bit of black monofilament for the rib, just to protect it a little bit. It's literally just one pass of thread up, one pass of thread back down. probably stop about there. Then you get your red holographic tinsel. This one's by a company called Madeira. It's another sewing material. Because it's got that flash of red in it, it does quite well for the greyling as well. And then for your hackle, you can use hen or you can use cock. This is an Indian cock cape in black. The River Vunry is quite a fast flowing river, so I like to use flies with stiffer, hackle fibres. I need one about that sort of size. Just strip the fluff off there.
All over the place.
And you want, I use 3 turns normally on these, but you can use as many or as few as you like. And between finger and thumb, just brush them back slightly. Start to form your head. Come away close, and then a nice dab of varnish. Try and get the head nice on this one.
So that's the improved black magic.
No, this one's the black and red holographic spider. The improved black magic was the one I did last week with the black nylon in the rib. There we are. And that will catch fish all season long on pretty much any river I can probably imagine. I'm very soon going to be fishing a section of river that I've never fished before. Probably as early as this Sunday. I'm probably going to fish the town water at Newtown in near it's the next town along from Welshpool. I'm looking forward to fishing that. It looked really nice. And that will probably be on the middle dropper, if not the next, not the next pattern, sorry, the pattern after the next one will be on the middle dropper. So what do you guys think of that one? Have you got any questions for me for that one?
Yeah, you could adapt it as well. Instead of
Yeah.
the red borax, you could give it a pearl, you could give it green.
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads of different versions out there. That was just the one that I picked at the time. There is green, pearl. I think there's gold out there as well, silver. There's loads of different ones. So you can fill a box full of just them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And you saw how quick it was to tie. I mean, was it less than 3 minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
They're
Scott,
not. Yes.
do you ever varnish the body on that fly?
No.
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 Is there a
I
reason? Or?
mainly for, well, from my experience, unfortunately, it is used mainly as a river fly, and my experience on the river is if you get more than 2 sessions out of a fly on the river, you're doing well.
Okay.
Because they either end up a tree or wrapped around a rock. And so taking the extra time to varnish them, letting them dry, and then applying the hackle. No, I haven't thought to do that, to be fair.
Okay.
But if
Thank you.
if you're using them on still waters, then yeah, great, go ahead, varnish them. They'll definitely last a bit longer.
I'm sure you're right. Thank you.
No problem. Is there any more questions? Okay. So I want to go and move on to a famous spider pattern, very famous spider pattern, and probably one of the oldest fly patterns that's ever been devised. Apart from obviously the March Brown, which I think was 1453. This one is the Partridge and Orange, but this one is going to be the Yorkshire Dales version. Now, according to my research materials that I've got, the Yorkshire Dales version normally uses a bit of gold wire in the rib, and so I'm going to tie it in that style. And hopefully you guys will enjoy watching that one. So I'll get set up to do that one next. Whoops. Put the boom. So we're going to go with another down-eyed Camazam B405 in 14. That's why I've picked these patterns. I don't have to keep rooting around for hooks. They're all on the same hook pretty much. And I'm going to be using actually an orange thread, not a pierce or silk. I wish I had those silks, but no, we're going to be using a uni thread in 8/0 in orange. You could use the rusty brown version of the thread. That's closer to the original. I'm just going to get the thread started. Just a couple of a head lengths away from the iron stop. Now I use a very fine gold wire for this particular pattern. This one is the Vineyard French wire in the smallest size they do. It's normally labelled up with a 27 with a black marker pen. I'm not sure what that refers to because the next size up, 26, is actually bigger.
It's a bit thicker.
Yeah. And tie your wire in. Now, a lot of people that tie spiders like to stop about there. That's up to you. That's personal choice. If I wanted to have a fly that big, I'd use a size 16. So I like to use the whole shank of the hook. And then take the thread back up. So again, it's just a single pass of thread. I'll go back a bit because I've thought of something else I'd like to do with this pattern in just a second. Then you wind your wire rib. Now going back to that gentleman's question about varnishing the body. This is another way to protect the bodies of your spiders. You can use a wire or a nylon. Rather than varnish. Another thing I like to do with my spider patterns is I actually quite like to add a little bit of a thorax to this particular partridge and orange. So we're going to use some more of my squirrel. Probably not that much. And just a little bit of squirrels, enough to keep the partridge feather slightly more open.
Yeah.
That's why I like to do that. Now I'm quite lucky, I've managed to get myself a whole partridge here. And for the partridge and orange pattern, I actually prefer to use the white feathers rather than the brown. I'm trying to find a decent one now. Get rid of all the fluff there. I'm a bit weird as well, because I actually quite like mine heavily dressed, whereas others would probably put one, maybe two turns in at most. So you draw the fibres back once you've found the point with your hackle pliers. Tie in by the point. I normally use the English hackle pliers to do that, and then I use these Stonfo ones to actually wind the hackle. And then tie it in. It's behaved quite well, that feather has. I'm really happy with that one. And then start to form your head. And that is what I'm told is the Yorkshire Dale style of partridge and orange. I get my my brush and give it a bit of a dressing up. And a quick varnish. There's a tiny fibre just there where the end of my brush is, but not really all that bothered about that. And there we are. That's the partridge and orange Yorkshire Dale style. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. That was, I'll be honest with you, that's what I thought the partridge and orange was until I got Mike Harding's book. and I found out it was actually more sparsely dressed than that. But there's no wire involved. It was Pearsall Gold 6A, I think the thread was. And it's literally that and a very sparse partridge hackle. And that's it. That's all there was to the original one. So what do you guys think of that one? Any questions?
I think Steve's got a question for you. He's got his hand up.
Okay.
Oh no, he's shaking his head.
No?
Derek, it's Malcolm. Yeah, I have a question, please, Scott.
Yeah.
I noticed, I thought on that flyer, barb. Do you fish barb or barbless?
So the reason I tie with barb ducks is because it gives me the option to do both. If I'm fishing, for example, a trout fishery that's put and take, then I will use a barbed hook. Or if I'm fishing for keeps anywhere, I'll use a barbed hook. At the point that I find that I'm either fishing catch and release or I don't want to do the fish any harm, I've got the option then to squeeze the barb down. That's normally how I operate.
I prefer self-preservation, really, just in case you get caught with a hook.
Yeah.
I saw a lad have one in the corner of his eye about 30 years ago, and that taught me a lesson: never ever fish with a barbed hook, because it was a hospital job, and I think it was an overnight stay to get it out. So I mean, apart from, I like to release the fish, but that's just personal. But I think for self-preservation, it's a good thing to kick the barb off. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And we're all entitled to our views.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah. That's well tied, that, and a good fly.
Yeah. Obviously, squeeze the barb down and it'd be a much better fly for you.
Yeah. But a lot of you get out here without the barb on.
It's quite a quick job to take the barb off. I mean, I buy barbed hooks because it gives me the option to do both, because you can just literally just squeeze it in the vice and it's barbless. And there you go. You can just buy barbless hooks if you prefer as well.
On the health and safety message, though, you should really wear sunglasses. Then you don't get it caught in the eye.
That's a true statement, but this was 30 years ago when nobody realised they hurt when they went in you.
Oh, I found that out when I had hit the back of my ear.
I've pierced my own ears a few times with them, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I just think from a safety point of view, that's just a personal view, that it's safer and better to fish barbless, just in case.
Absolutely. Oh, there is one way around it though as well, but you wouldn't be able to do it if you got it in your eye. If you got it anywhere else in the body, the idea is you just push it straight through, which is not very nice, but push it straight through.
If it's in your ear, you've got
to
see what you're doing, though, you mate.
Yeah.
I always
or the back of your neck or head.
Yeah. It depends where you get it, doesn't it, really, how you deal with it?
Sure. It's just a personal view. I prefer to have a barb off.
I always carry a pair of fishing pliers, which will cut braid and all sorts, but it will also cut a shank of a hook. So
yeah.
If it goes in, you just cut the hook and then just pull it back out the other way again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing, Scott, is that people often feel more secure fishing with a barbed hook. I've used barbless for 50 plus years and never really had a problem. I think as long as you actually try and maintain pressure on the line, you don't lose fish. I mean, you always lose fish if it's badly hooked. If you just caught a scale or something like that, yes, it's going to get off. But if you actually hook a fish in the scissors or in the lip or sometimes in the roof of the mouth, Not a problem. Never had a fish lost for that reason. Had hooks straightened, and I've had really grotty hooks where the tips come off, and especially if you don't realise, you often hook 3 or 4 fish on it, only to lose each one. Then when you look at the hook, you find the tips broken off. But yeah, I don't think barbs are actually necessary.
I would add that barbs actually hook up more fish without knots. A barbless hook, you'll always hook more because it won't. Sometimes with the barb, it would actually stop it going in.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with Pete on that one.
The old barbs, which were bloody enormous in comparison to the barbs that we have on hooks nowadays.
But if I tie a frame or anything to show, I'd always tie with barbs on old hooks because it looks better.
I'll say that I've probably taken in my career between 75 and 100 fishing hooks out of people's skin. And I have to say, barbed hooks are the most satisfying ones to remove. but sometimes the most difficult.
Yeah.
I say I recognise that name. That's Les. I've had the pleasure of meeting Les, the Dr. Milner. He's still with us, Doctor. Yeah. Because I work in pharmacy in the same county as Les. Les is retired now, and but I have seen. I think he's only just retired because a lot of the colleagues I work with do know of Les. So yeah, he came in to see me the other day. Going back to the barbed hooks, Les, why was it so satisfying to get to remove the barbed ones?
I think because often they're buried quite deep, and if they're buried deep, really deep within the muscle layers, and then quite often the fishermen will actually try and wriggle them themselves to get them out, and they push them further in.
Yeah.
And quite often it's not just a matter of cutting the one end and putting the hook through the other way. Sometimes they've required an incision with a scalpel to get them out. So very, very, very satisfying. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Les, I don't know what people try to take out of anybody, but some of the sea fishing hooks are horrible, especially around the sort of 5/0 size. You get one of those buried in you somewhere, and it's really, really difficult to get out. It's definitely a visit to the hospital.
Yeah, I agree with him on that one, especially if they've got 2 pounds of lead attached to them as well.
Absolutely.
I still think barbed is better than barbed.
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah.
After hearing that man say he loves it when he has to slit somebody open as well. He's a masochist.
Yeah, Les was the local doctor around here for, I think it was 40 years, he told me. Until he retired. Is that right,
30
Les?
years.
30.
An emergency doctor and A&E doctor.
Yeah. There we are.
Anyway, let's move on. Very good time, Scott.
Okay.
Yes, superb.
If anyone does get like a sea hook in them, and there is a trick with big sea hooks with barbs, then you get a piece of nylon and you thread the nylon down around the hook, and then you pull close to the bottom of the hook and pull round, and it will come out by using nylon.
What about if the hook's buried in your feet?
It is, but it's a way to get them out if they're buried in.
Oh.
You YouTube it on the internet, you'll find various videos of them. One bloke will actually put him in himself and then take him out to show you.
Oh my God.
Oh God. The ironic
But
thing is,
it
he's
does
probably
work.
had more views than on my channel.
It does work.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Agree, it works. But it's often better to have somebody else do it because you're then not frightened about causing pain.
The problem is you're left with the hook, especially if you've only just gone out as a first cast and you're a 10-hour charter.
Yes, that's true.
It's either a long swim or you're paying for a day's fishing.
Mm.
I like it.
Right, the last pattern I've got on my list here, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what to tie for you guys, suffering from a lack of confidence, basically. I can tie all sorts of different flies. It's just ones that I wanted to be able to tie on camera quickly and easily. I've got a pattern that I've sort of come up with. It's an old pattern that I've sort of modernized a little bit. And I'm trying to make use of a material that not many people use as well. So this one's the holographic iron blue spider, but rather than using either French partridge or another game bird in the hackle, we're going to be using wood pigeon. And this is I did show a photo of this fly a while back, and Charles Jardine liked it, and I nearly fell over in my chair when I saw
Yeah.
that. I mean, as I said to Derek earlier, that was the equivalent of somebody who's learning to play guitar having Keith Richards say that they like his song, for me, anyway. So I'm going to get on and tie that one, and hopefully it'll go well, and it'll look as good as the one in the photo did. And we'll see how we go on with that one. I'll get set up to do that one next. Now, this particular pattern has caught me a lot of fish as well on the River Vunry. I dare say the upper seven will work as well. It's a really, really good grayling fly. It seems to catch a lot of grayling for me. And we're just going to go with the same standard shank, size 14. This fly would normally be on my middle dropper of the cast, or the top dropper if I'm just fishing two flies, which I do regularly on the river as well. Just straighten that up just a little bit on camera. And for this one, it's the Camazon B405 in size 14 again. I'm going to be using the grey thread by Uni in ATO. I've got my red holographic tinsel. This shows up in a lot of my patterns. I really like that tinsel. If I didn't have that tinsel, I don't know what I'd do with myself. We're going to use a little bit of my squirrel again. You can see why I've picked these patterns now. They all use roughly the same materials. And then for the hackle, I've got some plucked neck feathers from a wood pigeon. Now, this particular wood pigeon had an unfortunate end in that it was, I believe, caught by some sort of bird of prey and dropped into my neighbour's caravan behind me and promptly died on my lawn. So I thought I'd make use of him, the poor thing. But there we are. At least he's been put to good use. I'm going to come in at the eye and bed the hook. Yeah, there's a massive dent in the side of their caravan behind me, bless them. Now I want to go around the bend slightly with this this tinsel, actually thinking about it. Oops, I'm too far with that.
Is that a hen's tinsel?
It's a holographic tinsel. It's very fine. Just enough to lock it off, and then you want to go around the bend with it slightly. You don't want many turns of it. It's literally just enough to give it a bit of red flash. There are tinsels out there available by fly fishing companies. If you've got those, you can use those. It's just that a lot of these materials were bought when I was still at school, believe it or not, and I was using my pocket money. And I've still got them. I never got rid of them. And when I went to university and stopped fly tying for a little while. And then we're just going to build up the body with the tying thread.
Thank you.
I want to leave myself plenty of room for my hackle, because the hackle can be a bit difficult sometimes. I've noticed that tying with wood pigeon can be quite difficult. Don't know why. I'm going to put in a small thorax of grey squirrel, and I don't drop it on my voice. There we go. And then the hard bit is picking a feather, because there's lots of different coloured ones, as you can imagine. With a wood pigeon, they've got the white neck, then you've got the blue grey. I normally go for the blue grey ones with the green tip. You can get some which are blue grey with a pink tip as well. So it's just a case of rummaging through the bag until you find one you like. So bear with me, and I'll get one in a sec. I think that one will do it. It might be a bit short, that one, actually, though. We'll get a slightly bigger one. That's the one. I don't know whether the green tip can show up on camera. It looks quite good on my camera in the mirror. You treat it like any game bird feather. Strip away your fluffy bits. So you're left with that, basically. Now, if any of you guys out there are keen shots as well, I did have another YouTube channel where I actually hunt wood pigeon on the channel with decoys, but it's not something I do anymore, really. I've sort of settled on fly fishing. So you tie that in by the tip.
Thanks, Ollie. Thanks.
Push away the excess. And I like to try and use the whole feather if I can. Trim away your tag. Make a nice little head on there. Trim away your thread. And normally what you have to do, because the fibres stick together, you normally have to try and separate them. I use a mascara brush to separate them. There are specialist fly tying tools out there that you can use to do it as well. This is just to make it look nice on the vise. As soon as it gets wet, it's going to look terrible probably. But you know, we like them to look good before they go in the water at least. My camera's froze. Yeah. Bear with me, guys.
Perfect.
There we are. It does that after a little while. It just sort of freezes. The camera does. Have you still got audio?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Nice slim profile as well.
Yes, it's quite nice. I like to just use the tying thread for the body on a lot of flies. And there we are. That's the holographic iron blue spider tied with a wood pigeon hackle.
Very nice.
Thank you. I really quite like that pattern myself as well, to be fair. Does anybody got any questions about that one?
Scott, what was the dubbing behind the head?
It's a grey squirrel.
Right.
So back in the day, I used to be a keen air rifleman. I had a bit of shooting. I had a shooting permission in Shropshire, near the village of Highley, on the way to Bridge North from here. And I used to do some vermin control on there with the air rifles. That particular skin came from there. I have shot wood pigeons in the past. You do it on the same land, but the feathers from that particular pigeon did actually come from that unfortunate story that I told. I didn't actually shoot that one.
Do you use much wood pigeon?
What's that? Sorry, say again.
Do you use much wood pigeon feathers?
I do, yeah. Yeah, so I used to shoot and eat wood pigeon quite regularly and keep the feathers back for fly tying. I find that the primaries are very good for your I'm trying to think of the name of the fly now. It's a wet fly, olive body, blue grey wing. I think it's a Greenwell's, is it? Greenwell's Glory. I use it for that quite a lot as well. I've since moved to mallard for that, but I do use a lot of wood. I did use wood pigeon when I didn't have access to mallard at the time.
Okay.
Quails stay together a little bit better than mallard as well, don't they?
Yeah. So I haven't actually got any more patterns for you guys for tonight. I don't know whether there's anything you'd like to see me try.
Only that marabou bread fly, if you could do it.
Yeah.
If not,
Okay, well bear with me. I'll get the stuff together for that one and we'll have a go at that.
the others want something more in front of me. I don't want to take precedent.
No? Go on, we'll have a crack at that bread fly then.
Right, so the catalogue.
If you bear with me, I will get the stuff together. You guys have a chat amongst yourselves while I'm doing it. Okay, guys, I'm just about ready to start this fly if everybody's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely, Scott.
So in the vice, I've got a Camazam B170 in size 8 with the barb squeezed down because it's meant for carp. You could use a size 10 or any hook that's got a heavy gauge wire. I found with carp, if you use a lighter gauge wire, they tend to bend them straight. You're going to need some craft foam. I've got it in this nice light brown colour. And this is going to be your bread crust, basically. And then for the actual body of the fly, we're going to be using some white marabou, bleached white marabou. And we're going to try a dubbing loop and spinning it. It's been a long time since I've done it, so bear with me, but we will get some sort of result, hopefully.
Have you used your dubbing tool yet?
Yeah, I've got it here. That's what I use to do it normally.
No, not the dubbing spinner, the dubbing tool I sent you.
Oh, I'll be honest with you, Derek. I apologise for my ignorance. I looked at it and thought, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. That might come in useful actually with this. I'm just thinking how it works now.
You just lay it flat, put all your materials on the one side.
Yeah.
Lift the left-hand one over to trap it,
Yeah.
and then follow the other one underneath it, and you can put it into a dubbing loop or into a split thread technique.
Yeah. That's what I'm not doing split thread. I'm going to do a dubbing loop. But yes, I will attempt to use that tool now. Now I've worked out how to use it. So I'm attempting to just bring my thread back over and tie that in. So that you end up with a nice loop. We go a little bit further than that down the shank. And then just put that loop out the way for a sec. And then you've seen me do the shells of the beetles before. It's the same thing. Cut it with some curved scissors like that. Tie it in by the tip. Then I'm going to use tool Derek's kindly given me. strip some marabou off with it. We need quite a lot of it. Now, from what I can gather, it's done like this.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, all right, we're all learning tonight by the looks of it. I've left a bit of that on, unfortunately. Hang on. I'm going to take the thread back up to the eye out the way. And give it a spin. That tool is actually very useful, Derek. Thank you very much for that. I never thought of using that.
It's perfect. You can mix all sorts of materials into it.
And then just the idea is to get this quite bulky, to be honest with you. You want it really bulky. That'll probably do it. I'm going to leave a bit of room so you can bring the foam back over without crowding the hook too much. And then just trim away your dubbing loop. Just have a bit of a tidy up and brush that little lock back a bit. Bring your foam over. Try and get it to behave. Just be patient with it. It will behave eventually. Now go and get that thread zapper thing. Try and tidy the head up a bit. Now I would probably pinch some of this off, because it's far too much at the moment, in my opinion. But if it depends what you want to do with it, I'll probably leave it about there. And whip finish. First a whip finish around the eye. Trim away your thread. And then to varnish, I'll probably just put a dab of varnish just underneath. I wouldn't bother trying to put it on the top. Just there. Just enough to hold the knot. And that should do it.
Thank you,
And
Scott.
that's okay. That's how I came up with a bread fly anyway. I don't know if that's actually how it's done, but that's my version of a bread fly for you, Pete.
Yeah, I'll try something like that.
Yeah.
A little bit less mess than deer hair, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've actually, I'm not one for tying with deer hair. I have tied a couple of patterns with deer hair recently, like Roman Moses Balloon Caddis, which was a pattern I was going to do tonight, but I felt that I hadn't had enough practice to do it really. I've only tied literally 3 of them, and so I chose to do the yellow owl as my experimental one. That didn't come out very good in my opinion. But the other flies have come out okay, I think. I'm quite happy with them.
Yeah, you've done well. It's, it takes a while to get used to doing them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The zoom.
So once that gets wet, it'll have plenty of movement. I would probably use bread flake as a loose feed as well.
Thank you. That's
okay.
What's for my mullet bread fly, that is.
Yeah, I've tied it on a size 8. You could probably do it on a smaller hook, so I know mullet can be quite shy.
Yeah, no, I'll do it on probably a 10, or I could go up to an 8, but it's a big 10 or an 8 I normally use.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is obviously I've left it quite heavily dressed there. You could trim it down a bit if you wanted to.
Oh, thanks. It's food for thought, that one.
But I think once it's wet, it'll probably look okay.
How did it fish for the carp? Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty well actually. There was a mate of mine called Alfie. He fished with it more than I did, and he did really well. We wasn't even feeding bread at the time. We was using those dog kibble, and he was still catching fish with the fly.
Yeah, they're so well fed on bread in our estuary that it's the in thing to catch them in.
Yeah.
Catch them, and I use bread, but it's nice to have something that you haven't got to get the bread.
Mm.
And be a bit more mobile. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, I mean, I normally keep my bait in. I'll see if I can get one of these pouches and show you now. I've got a spare one in here somewhere. Here we go. All this stuff's going to be moving out of here soon. I'm going to be moving into a proper house soon. So I've got one of these pouches. It literally folds up this small. I had it off Facebook actually, and it literally unfolds into that. You can keep your either your bread or dog kibble or even maggots if you're trotting maggots on the river. And you set it up so it's attached to your belt loop like that.
It's quite clever.
And I have it attached to my right hand side normally, because that's my throwing arm. But if you wanted to keep your rod in the hand all the time, you can obviously put it on the left hand side and use your left hand to loose feed. It's completely up to the operator, really, that one.
Yeah, I usually fish upstream of everyone else who's ground baiting and using bread. So
yeah.
By the time they come to me, they've already got turned on to it and just using it.
Hmm.
But I was just interested on your pattern, really.
No, thank you. I appreciate you asking me for it. Another. You could tie a really slim version of it with ostrich herl, possibly. I haven't thought of doing that yet.
No, that's too small. It needs to be bulky like that because the big months will take fair big pieces of bread.
Yeah.
That could work quite well.
Yeah, Derek's tool worked really well as well. Thank you, Derek. I never thought to use that. I didn't know how it worked until he explained it to me. I looked at it and thought, oh, apart from the nice, membership card that's on it, I didn't know what to do with it really. but now I know. Thank you.
Comes in handy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can work with if you want to use CDC as a dubbing as well.
Yeah, CDC, tinsel, also all sorts of stuff. Deer hair, marabou.
Yeah.
You can mix and blend it all.
So yeah, I see what you mean now. So if you want to use tinsel as a hackle, you can put strands of tinsel in there,
Yeah,
put it in your dubbing loop, and then spin it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. That is. Now that made tying that fly a lot easier because I was dreading doing it, Pete. To be fair, I thought the marabou is going to end up all over the place. It's going to look terrible. I really did think that was going to happen, but no, Derek rescued me on that one.
Sorry, I
Tonight, Scott.
should have said earlier.
Oh, Kenneth is trying to get in. My mate Ken.
Yeah, Ken's been watching.
I've just been watching and learning.
I can't teach you anything now, Ken. You've been fishing with me for 4 years now.
Yeah. Done a good job now, Scott, tonight.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. I didn't know you was there. I know you WhatsApped me earlier, but I was a little bit busy getting my stuff set up to answer you back.
Yeah, I guess you would be.
Are you watching from Albury at the moment?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not up the caravan now, no?
Nah, it's red hot here now tonight.
Oh, God. Well, I've had to... I've got this to stop it going in my eyes tonight while I've been tying. It's been hard work, to be honest.
Thanks for tonight, Scott.
Yeah, thank you.
There's no problem, guys. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
think
Scott.
it'll either be obviously we've both been recording it, both me and Derek. I'm going to put some version of it on my channel at some point. But I think Derek will have his version up probably later on tonight. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'll try and plan it a bit better this time. Because it was a bit of a last minute thing for me today. Been that busy doing other things elsewhere that I've literally walked in and gone, what flies am I going to tie tonight? Didn't have a clue. Whereas the last one I'd planned out quite well. So I'll try and do that again.
Okay.
And yeah, hopefully I'll do some slightly more difficult patterns.
Well, the focus was good tonight on your.
There.
Yeah, I've sorted
Did very
that
well,
problem
Scott,
out.
thank you.
Yeah, it was annoying me, and I could tell it was annoying the viewers as well. Because normally I've got a much better setup than that, and I just couldn't work it out. And I just picked the wrong camera lens because there's 3 on the back of the phone, and one of them is a telephoto lens, and that's the one I should have picked, and I wasn't using that one.
Never mind.
So never mind.
Done very well, Scott. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Excellent stuff.
That's all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much, Scott. Gotta go.
That's all right. No problem.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
No
Thanks very
problem,
much.
guys. No problem.
Thanks. Superb.
Thank you, Pete. When you want to do the next one, Pete, obviously we need to let somebody else have a go.
Well, I've got a couple lined up for when Derek's away. I will come back and leave it with me and Derek, really, and see it. But if when did you move?
We're moving imminently. I probably need about 3 weeks before I can get set up properly at the new station.
Your room won't be big enough,
I literally have got a room dedicated to this hobby now. So
yeah, so I thought it was going to be huge.
it's about 8 foot by 8 foot. I think the room I've got. So yeah, it's got a lovely desk. I'm going to be setting my voice up on a nice. They call it a cookie. It's like a piece of live edged wood. And I'm going to set my voice into that with a router, and it should look really nice.
Oh,
And
nice.
I've got a solid oak desk. I've got some decent LED lighting, so it's going to be as bright as what this is now. if I reach for the light switch, that's the difference it makes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously I've got the LED above the mirror there on my, well, it's on my right as I'm looking at my screen, but it's on my left.
Yeah, you never get it. You fill a room so quick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's my. I've got most of the drawer. Like, that's the mess I've made tonight. Look, this is rubbish literally every.
Well, if you got a room, you can close the door on it.
All hidden off camera, but those are my drawers that I keep my stuff in. And then I've got 4 organisers, one with hooks, one with tinsel, one with wire. That's you get the idea. So yeah, I have actually started shopping on Fly Tying websites and gone, well, I don't need any of that. I've got that. I don't need that. I don't need that. So we'll see. Unless they bring out a new wonder material, I probably won't be buying anything for a bit.
No, I got into this ridiculous collecting hobby when I bought the fly tying book. You find a fly pattern, you didn't have the material for it.
Yeah, I'm the one that
And
sort of comes out with substitutes, though, Pete. Sorry to interrupt you, Pete. I actually use substitutes in quite a lot of my fly patterns, rather than buy them.
But so, did you look into those wires?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I've literally got all the colour wires in the world. I didn't really need any of them, but I appreciate it. If I need a top up, I might use them.
They come in big spools.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can see that. I can't see my camera, but and it's really subtle wires. One of the best wires I come across.
Mm. Yeah, what sort of diameter was there now? I can't remember. If I'm looking, is it 0.2 or
2.1?
Mm.
And it's just perfect because I don't like heavy wire.
Yeah, no, neither do I really. Well, saying that, I've started tying some buzzer patterns recently. I'll see if I can get the box for you now. Hang on. It's one of these up here. That one. One thing I do enjoy doing actually is buying capes, just white ones, bleached ones, and dyeing them. But these are the wire ribbed ones, and I find that the thicker the wire, the more segmented body, the more segmented the body looks.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I would use thick wires. All the other flies use very fine wires that I tie. So,
But like you, I use mono an awful lot.
hmm.
And I will use Mac 4-pound Maxima.
Yeah.
As a just
So
beautiful to use.
0.123, something like that, yeah.
0.17.
Oh, right, okay. So Ken's bought some fishing line recently. It's 0.18, I think, and it's rated at 8-pound breaking strain.
Yeah, I know. But
we have tried it. It's pretty good stuff.
A lot of ribs. Well, unfortunately, I've got a drawer full of that stuff you use, the Guterman as well.
Yeah.
That's the wife's fault, because every time she went in a sewing shop, she dragged me in. I'd end up spending more than she did.
Yeah. Fair enough. I always they must wonder what I'm doing when I buy that stuff in the shops. It's like, well, this is normally ladies would normally be buying this stuff. What's this chap buying all this for?
Yeah.
You feel like you have to tell them why you're buying it, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I always used to buy Nicola elastic for when I was using fresh peeler crab. And you wrap the peeler around the thing. And the woman said, "What are you using all this Nicola elastic for?" And I said, "Well, I use it for fishing, for tying the crabs on." And she had the impression that the crab was hanging on this piece of elastic going up and down.
And obviously the word crabs associated with Nicola elastic isn't a very good look either.
Well, the things we use when I was cod fishing a lot, I used to use tights.
Yeah.
Cut a segment of tights off, make a little, and put mussels and whatever you were using as the soft baits.
What?
Thread it through the hook and then tie it off at the top with nigger elastic. And it would hold everything in a nice pouch. Worked bloody well.
I bet it did, yeah. Well, they reckon.
Casting it 180 you know, if you haven't got something solid on it, by the time it gets out there, there's no bait left.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially if there's a lot of crabs in the area as well. They strip your hooks completely clean, don't they?
Well, it's more to do with the casting, really.
Yeah, there's that as well. I used to clip up my rigs quite a lot, though. I used to use those special lead bombs that have got like a clip on them with a cone. So when it hit the water, the cone went up and knocked off the hook.
The coffin, what we used to call a coffin, where you used to put the worm inside it.
Yeah. Well, that stopped you blasting the bait off in the cast.
You know what it's like, especially in the dock. You always dreaded sat there fishing with a bare hook.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've done it many a time, sea anglers. I'm sure we sit there with a bare hook out there wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
And yeah. But luckily, Aberystwyth used to fish quite well, so you'd know if you got a bare hook because you didn't get a bite in 10 minutes. Dogfish mainly, though, that's the problem. They didn't. If you wanted to catch lots of fish, it was great for that. If you wanted to catch fish for the table or a specific species, it wasn't really very good for that.
Yeah, well, I used to get fed up with dogfish and eels, silver eels, when we used to have a load. They were a pain in the ass. We said, bugger the trace up, and you have to put a new trace on. But we don't get too
we used to catch some record-sized dogfish. They were like bullus, some of them. If you catch them in season.
Bullus can give a good old scrap.
Yeah.
But you're a long way from the coast now, though.
Yeah, well, I've mentioned this before. I was educated at, in Welsh, Prifysgol Cymru Aberystwyth, or the University of Wales Aberystwyth, and I did marine and freshwater biology there. But I had more fun fishing the beach. I was in Carpenter Halls, which was right on the seafront, right where the old bandstand was. Which went down in the storms a few years back now. I think about 10 years ago now. We had that storm that took out the bandstand. I can't remember now how long ago it was.
They had a good cod fishery in the winter. Good cod fishing there, wasn't it?
It was supposed to be good cod fishing, yeah. When I arrived in the town and I started talking to the people that were fishing North Beach there, just to the right of the pier or to the north of the pier, there was a lad there who'd had a really nice codling, probably about 4 or 5 pound. And I thought, oh, we're on for a belter here, me and my mate. Never caught a cod the whole time we were there. Same goes for bass. We had 1 bass in 5 years.
Well, that's strange because I thought there was loads of bass around there.
I used to lure fish for them. I used to fish with sand eels on a pulley rig. I used to target bass specifically, but all I'd get was dogfish. It was a case of getting through the dogfish, I think. That one particular night I caught the bass, the sea state was in a particular state where it was just about fishable, but it was rough enough to keep the dogfish away. But there wasn't much weed about as well, so I managed to get a bait out there and a whole bottom. And I managed to get a bass that night. That was literally 2 weeks into my stop in Aberystwyth. And then 4 years later, 4.5 years later, never had another bass. We fished it pretty much every week.
Do you use your degree or not?
I don't really know. I'm a pharmacy technician at Boots. I did work in aquariums, in pet shops, but minimum wage. They wasn't really paying me properly for my expertise on the subject. So I actually retrained. I had to retrain, which was a shame.
Yeah.
I nearly got a job last year at Chirk Trout Fishery. But again, he wanted to pay me minimum wage to drive trout around in a pickup truck.
Yeah, that's the trouble. That's the trouble, isn't it? You gotta put money on the table, wouldn't you?
Yeah. If you'd have said, "Oh, I'll pay you, I don't know, a decent wage," I mean, even 20 grand a year, I'd have done it. It's like when they want to pay you, like, what is it now, £10.50 an hour to drive all over Wales and Shropshire, dropping fish off at various fisheries, which are disappearing fast, as Ken will attest to. It didn't look like it was a career that was up and coming to me.
Unfortunately, our fishing is really suffering apart from the spring and autumn, isn't it?
Mm.
Well, this year's been a disaster, eh?
Yeah, it's been terrible.
Who's that? Paul, was it?
That was Ken.
Oh, it was 10.
That was me, okay.
Yeah,
This year's
Ken's
been waste of time, eh?
Yeah,
it has.
just so everybody knows, Ken's my best friend. He stays with me on the caravan site here. And we fish together pretty much every 2 weeks. He shows up on my channel occasionally on the fishing videos as well. And I've taught him to fly fish from scratch. He was a keen coarse angler and has been since a very early age. And I think he's now 74, aren't you, Ken? 75?
77.
77. There we go.
Rod in his hand. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
We unfortunately,
I've tended not to fish as much as I used to, and I've got to change that.
yeah. Ken's a very he's a very active man for an older man. He gave me a run for my money. To be fair, he's he makes sure he has a daily walk around. Never sits down for too long. He's always trying to do something to keep exercising. In many ways, I'm quite jealous of him, to be honest with you. He's probably healthier than I am, and I'm 37 years younger than him.
I'm going to have to take a thing out of his book and pull me act up.
Yeah.
Go fishing for the next 7 years until he's at the age he is now.
Yeah.
But
Can I inject? It's Malcolm Milner. Thank you very much for your demo tonight. It was superb.
Thank you, Malcolm. I appreciate that.
That's right. And to you, Pete, good night. Thank you. And to you, Derek.
I'll catch up with you soon.
And to everyone else on there. God bless everybody and stay safe. Bye-bye now.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye, mate.
Hello, Paul.
G'day.
Hello, Paul. You all right? You off now, are you?
Yeah, doing well, thanks.
Not too bad. You got any questions for me? I don't think I've spoken to you before, Paul.
No, I appreciate the demo. You did a great job, thanks.
No problem. You're welcome. I really enjoy doing it. It's only my second one, and I'm looking forward to doing another one. I've really enjoyed them.
Paul's all the way from America.
Paul's from America. Oh, right. Okay.
Actually, Aussie.
Oh, he's Australian. Whereabouts are you now, though, Paul?
Parramatta. It's in New South Wales.
Okay.
Right now, I'm living in San Diego.
Okay, so it's fairly early in the afternoon at yours, isn't it?
Well, in Australia, it's still winter. Here, it's summer, and it's been running in the hundreds. I'm sorry, that in the 80s, high 80s. Today, it's down about 75.
That's well, yes, it's actually cooler there than it is here at the moment. I work in Celsius. Ken works in Fahrenheit. What is it in Fahrenheit, Ken?
96.
Yeah.
96.
96.
Yeah.
Yeah. 26.
So it's it's you could probably tell I'm pretty
Double
warm.
it up 30.
It's actually just starting to get dark here now. What time of the
Busy
day
with a
is
cup
it?
of tea.
What time of day is it in San Diego? Is it like early afternoon?
It's going on 10 to 1.
10 to 1, yeah.
Yeah, 10 to 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So
It's still 96 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun's gone down here pretty much from what I can see. So yeah, it's going to be a very, 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 very warm night. I just hope it gets good soon.
You see
It's been decent
last
here.
night?
Where I'm at is north of San Diego, about 15 miles off the coast. So 15 miles inland. We have some man-made lakes around here that are decent for fishing. They're actually reservoirs.
Yeah.
They're all stocked, of course. There's some rivers about, but there's no real fish in the rivers. And then, of course, a lot of the blokes from the local fly club fish the San Diego Harbor and do surf fishing. In fact, there's a group that goes out every Wednesday morning on San Diego Harbor and fishes. They catch stripers, a couple halibut, but mostly stripers.
Yeah, striped bass, yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, God, I wish we had some of those over here.
Yeah.
They show our bass.
So,
yeah, striped bass is a massive North American species of. They're very similar to the Atlantic sea bass in looks, except obviously they're stripy, and they occupy a very similar ecological niche as well.
Yeah,
yeah,
probably as well.
Yeah, they do mostly catch and release here.
Yeah.
In fact, that discussion about barbless hooks, the thing here is a lot of them, because it's windy sometimes, just about everybody uses barbless hooks. The reason being is they've had on the forecast catching ears and that. So
yeah, especially if you're
basically they
right-handed.
avoid barbs.
If you're right-handed and the wind is coming into your right shoulder, and you're trying to throw a cast, then you get a sudden gust, and the wind will actually blow the line into the back of your head or your back, and the hook will actually go round your head and sort of hook in you. Yeah,
I'm left-handed.
Yeah,
I'm left-handed, and a lot of times, what I do is I will cast with either hand. In fact, I think I actually cast better right-handed than I do left.
Yeah. But yeah, it's where we. I think when we and Ken go a lot, we sometimes end up with a wind over our right shoulder, and it's hard work. Trying to keep the fly away from itself. Yeah, yeah.
I'll change sides depending on which way the wind's blowing.
I wish I could do that.
Well, that's the thing about being left-handed. I think you learn to be ambidextrous about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially if you're using power tools and that, because they're all basically set up to be right-handed use.
Mm-hmm. So in the reservoirs in San Diego, is it rainbow trout, or would it be bass or largemouth bass?
Yeah, it's they stock a lot of trout in the winter time. One of the lakes I fish is actually, it's run by the local water district, and they stock everything from catfish to bass. I've caught some bluegill there, and one undersized trout during the stock season. They stock at the winter time because the water gets too warm. When I was working in Northern California, up around Monterey, there were a lot of lakes up there that were stocked as well, but the trout fishing was good all year round.
Yeah, yeah. It makes sense. I've been making. I mean, this is a really good discussion point in my opinion. We've noticed between me and Ken and a few other anglers in the UK, the trout fisheries are disappearing quite quick. And we think it's mainly because of the warmer temperatures. The rainbow trout are an Arctic species of salmonid on the Pacific side of the United States. That's where they're originally from. And they're used to colder water. We're trying to stock them in water that's 25 degrees plus, and it's not working anymore. It used to back in the day when we had colder, wetter summers, but we're not getting those anymore. The trout fisheries are closing down. And I actually turned around and said to a bailiff, I says, we're going to have to work out a way of farming and stocking largemouth bass to keep this sport alive. That's where I
there's not many commercial fisheries around here. Most of them are, like I said, reservoirs owned and operated by water districts or the state. Then obviously we don't have the proprietary laws governing riverbanks and that as well here. So you have free access to most of the rivers. One of the problems here is the San Diego River. They've actually done a lot to change the way it's set up and restore the natural environment to it. The only problem is it's become a campground for the homeless. So you run a risk of running into them, and some of them have mental issues. So it's not necessarily the safest place to be.
I understand. Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah. Australia, it's pretty much open, fair game. Obviously, we have fishing licenses and that in Australia, but my family is notorious. Well, some of my family is notorious for not buying a fishing license and basically going out but not catching anything. They're not the best fishermen in the world either. So yeah, it's kind of funny. One of my brothers-in-laws, he and I went out one night in a 15-foot boat with a 5-horsepower motor on Botany Bay, and no moon. We ran aground once and we run into the oyster beds. So yeah, it was an adventure that night.
I'm going to say about that was a bit hairy.
Yeah, I mean, my father-in-law had a house literally right on the edge of Botany Bay. It was about a 10-meter walk from his front door to ankle deep in the water.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Botany Bay is a good place to fish. So,
but I don't know what sort of water temperatures largemouth bass can survive up to. I'm sure they're a warmer water species because they're found in the southern.
Yeah, they are. They're warm water species. That's why they're really popular from what I've observed in the south of the United States.
Yeah.
Texas and the southern states. They're really big. Americans are really big on bass fishing anyway.
Yeah.
Both largemouth and smallmouth. I've never caught one. Panfish I've caught, like I said, bluegill, trout, and that's about it. And then my dad, when he was alive in Australia, we'd go back to the saltwater fishing in Australia. I have to go. I got somebody at my door.
Okay,
So,
Paul.
Cheers, mate.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
I think the temperatures here would be perfect for big mouth bass.
That's what I've been thinking. I've been talking to bailiffs about it, and I think the only thing that's holding us back
Got to go through the EA, though, haven't they?
is they need to find a way of getting them sterilised so that they don't breed in the wild. And two, they'll probably need to get some sort of licensing system from DEFRA.
That's the problem, getting it past DEFRA.
But I mean, they can stock landlocked salmon. You can do, but they won't survive in the temperatures we've got. Rainbow trout, brown trout, they're suffering. That's why me and Ken I actually taught Ken to fly fish by fly fishing for carp to start with. For example, that's about the only way you can catch a fish on a fly at the moment with the way the weather is.
Perch is what for.
Perch, yeah, definitely. I mean, in Australia, they actually fish for perch commercially, like rainbow trout. They're called redfin over there, and they really like to eat them actually as well.
Yeah, well, I think I was in Austria for Christmas, and they had carp, and it's the first time I'd eaten carp, and it's bloody lovely.
Yeah.
Which is what the monks brought them over for originally, food.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
But it was just real thick flakes like cod.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I can imagine it being like that. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was surprised how nice it was, because I thought carp might be a bit earthy.
Mm. But I genuinely think the way it's been, the future of fly fishing is probably finding some way to stock our trout fisheries with largemouth bass.
Well, I think I'm lucky because I'm on near the coast.
Yeah.
We've had bonito and tuna in our area now, and trigger.
Yeah.
And we get red bream as well as the black, bream as well, gilt heads.
Mm-hmm.
So we can get a fair bit of good fishing, which will take fly.
Mm-hmm. It won't be long before your mako sharks follow them in as well.
Oh, we got sharks here.
Mm-hmm.
I've had blues. I've seen most of the sharks. I've seen a great white down our way.
Mm-hmm.
Orbigos we get a lot of.
I don't scoff at you saying that there's a great white down your way, and I'll tell you why. The scientists around here refuse to acknowledge the fact that they're in our waters, but they are.
They are.
There's absolutely too much evidence out there to suggest that they are. They just keep ignoring it. It's like the UFO phenomenon, isn't it?
I don't think they want to admit they're there because the fear people will have over it.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's tourism,
seen in Scotland. Graham Pullen being a great white.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we got in here, which is killer whales, orcas.
Yeah.
And they take the seals off the beaches.
Mm-hmm.
And the people have been complaining to the fishery officer. I don't know what they expect the fishery officer to do about it.
They can't really do a lot, can they? Yeah.
But it's nice to see. I mean, they only attack humans by mistake.
Yeah. They call it an exploratory bite. The only problem is when a 12 to 18 foot animal bites you, it's going to bloody hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I don't think it'd be long before we catch a moray eel down here in the water temperatures.
Yeah, possibly.
Temperatures of about 24 in the sea down here at the moment.
Well, there's been a massive marine heat wave that I've been reading about. What's the mackerel fishing like at the moment, Pete?
Very poor.
Yeah.
I
guess as much.
Don't think that's just down to the temperature. I think it's more to do with the big factory fishing ships took too many.
Yeah. Well, I said this to Ken. I think it wasn't last year. It was the year before. So me and Ken used to have an annual trip to Aberystwyth to fish for mackerel. Just one weekend of the year, one day of the year, but normally in late August, September. I was going to suggest to him that we go at some point next month.
I think they're catching the North Coast.
Yeah.
I'm on the South Coast. We're not.
I see what you mean. So we're talking like Aberystwyth up to Barmouth and that way. They might still be down. Doing okay from there.
Yeah, I know people have been getting them in Pembroke and Newport and around that area.
Yeah.
So
it might be worth a go.
Bonito up in Newport area as well.
Yeah.
That's what you call a mackerel on steroids. They are.
Yeah, I've had some. When I was at university, I had some that were big. I got a photo somewhere of one that was probably £1.5 pounds. It was as big as some of these stocky rainbows.
They get a lot of been an explosion in the winter of spur dogs and fishing like that down here.
Yeah,
that has been. Been a good year for black green.
Yeah, the black bream definitely like warmer water anyway, don't they?
They're doing well at the moment. You can go out there and catch a 3-4 pounder quite easily now.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're good eating as well.
Yeah, they are.
But where crab has gone, most of the octopus have eaten most of those.
In many ways, that's a good thing.
Well, I like crab.
Anyway.
I do like crab. You know, but the brown crab is hard to find down here now. Lobsters are doing all right. But the brown crab fishery have been hit by the, you know, the octopus. But they're landing huge amounts of octopus now.
Yeah. It's a shame, no. Well, I mean, I'm sure we probably ship it abroad, but most people in the UK don't like to eat it, do they?
No, we get good calamari and, well, good squid fishery in the autumn we got down here off the shore.
Yeah.
So I spin for those in the autumn for squid. They're good fun.
I like
do you use the glow-in-the-dark lures?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's good fun. I've never bothered with on fly. They'll probably take fly, but it's a bit harder to catch because you want more than one hook.
Yeah, it's getting the specialist hooks for them, isn't it? That's the problem. If you can get a bare version of that hook, you could tie your own lure.
Probably, but trebles would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't like using trebles.
No.
Don't like tying anything on a treble.
No, it's hard work. I mean, the other thing you could do is you could string 3 trebles together and then use a long shanked hook. Tie the string of trebles to your long shank hook and then tie your lure on the long shank hook, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I reckon it's easily done here. I mean, you know, but I'm one of those fishermen who don't go out and just use fly rod. I use all methods.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm quite happy with a very light, you know, lure rod, casting plugs and stuff like that.
Right, guys, should we call it night?
Yeah, I'll speak to you again, Darren.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you very much for watching, guys, and thank you for having me again.
Take care.
You too.
Good night. Bye-bye.
No.